Over the months, I've talked about the CFMOTO 675 SS a lot. I've glazed the CFMOTO 675 SS, and I put a lot of effort and time into my videos talking about the 675 SS. So in this video, I want to talk about 6 different bikes that can compare, or at least slightly compare, to the 675 SS, where if you're not really interested in CFMOTO or you want to explore your options, which I think is healthy and you should do, then these bikes will be the ones for you. Now, these 6 bikes aren't the only bikes that you have to get. These aren't the only option. These are just the 6 that I at least looked at, or ones that I would compare the 675 SS to in any kind of way, shape, or form in terms of engine size or power output. So let me stop yapping and we will jump straight into it. All of these numbers that I have pulled for each of these bikes was straight from their site. It was using their statistics, their numbers, their guidelines. Bear with me if some of the numbers may seem skewed. That is only because potentially the brand wants to hype up their product a little bit more. But the numbers I'm going to share with you are the baseline numbers that I would use if I was in the market for a bike like this or something that compared to the 675. Now, just a baseline for the CFMOTO 675 SS. It is a inline triple with a 675cc engine. It is a 6-speed that comes with a quick shifter, a seat height of 31.9 inches, the weight being 429 pounds, the fuel capacity being 3.7 gallons. This bike comes with a beautiful TFT display, comes in at 95 horsepower at 11,000 RPM. The torque comes in at 51.6 at 8,250 RPM and is priced at $7,999 US. Now, while this bike is pretty cheap relative to some of the bikes here in this list, it comes with some good accessories as well. So first on my list here, we have the Honda CBR 650R, the 649cc inline 4-cylinder with a 6-speed that comes with the E-clutch, which is essentially an automatic. With the E-clutch, you are able to shift up and down without even touching the clutch. And from what I understand from the E-clutch is if you were in first gear or second gear or whatever gear, and you are riding your motorcycle and you're coming to a stop, whatever gear you are in, it will not stall your bike, which is what I'm understanding. So from a stop, you don't even need to let the clutch out and you can just go. This is something that's been very controversial within the motorcycle community. I think it's kind of cool personally. I don't think it's anything I would personally buy because I want to be able to use the actual clutch, which you still can with this bike. I just don't really see the having to need the E-clutch whatsoever. I get the motorcycle because I want to actually feel the clutch and shift through my gears. So the ride height on this bike is 31.9 inches, weighing in at 466 pounds with a 4.1 gallon fuel capacity. That is including the reserve that comes on the bike. This bike also comes with a TFT display. We have 94 horsepower at 12,000 RPM. Torque being 46.5 at 9,500 RPM, coming in at 9,899 US dollars, which is a little bit more than the 675, but comes with the E-clutch. Now, the 675 weighs a little bit less and has a tiny bit more power and a little bit more torque as well. For looking at the bikes, this is something where if I was going to compare the two, I definitely would settle for the 675 SS, but that is definitely personal preference. It's not something that is the end all be all. I have never rode a CBR, but I think they look sick, and it's one of the few bikes as a kid that I liked to look at. Honda, I know, might be kind of going through some stuff right now, but that's okay. I mean, I feel like all these brands are kind of going through something at one point. So that's something I want to put out there too, is all these brands have all had something bad happen to them. They're never going to have a perfect brand. You're never going to have a flawless brand. I'm not here to say one brand is better than the other. These are just ones that I want to compare. Just put that as a disclaimer. Up next on the list, we have the Triumph Daytona 660. It is a 660cc inline 3-cylinder with a 6-speed transmission, and the quick shifter is only sold as an accessory, does not come with it. The ride height being 31.8 inches, weighing in at 443 pounds. Also has a TFT display, has a 3.7 gallon fuel capacity, has 95 horsepower at 11,250 RPM. Torque is 50.8 at 8,250 RPM, and the price being $9,195 US. In terms of power, the Triumph Daytona 660 and the CFMOTO 675 SS are essentially the same. They both have 95 horsepower acclaimed, CFMOTO having a lower RPM than the actual Daytona 660, but but they're pretty much the same bike all around. They weigh pretty similar, and they're essentially very similar bikes, but I like the fact that they're both inlines, and the Daytona was definitely something I looked at once I was trying to hop into the 600cc gang, diving into Triumph, just taking a look at their bikes, and they're not bad bikes at all. One is priced though at $9,195 US, which is a bit more than the CFMOTO, which is why I purchased this bike as opposed to the Daytona. And I actually hope that I run into one with my 675 so that I can race it, because it'd be fun to watch that go down. If you got a little bit of extra money here, this next one on the list is a bit pricier, but it is a clean bike and it is very nice looking. We have the Aprilia RS 660, which is a parallel twin, the 659cc. It's a 6-speed with a quick shifter, seat height of 32.3 inches, sitting at 403 pounds, fuel capacity of 4 gallons, has a 5-inch TFT display, 105 horsepower at 10,500 RPM, with the torque sitting at about 50.2 at 8,500 RPM. And the reason why I say this one's a bit pricier is, well, because it is. With the CFMOTO being $7,999, the price of this one is $11,479 US. This bike is priced a lot more, but it has a good amount more power than the actual CFMOTO 675 SS, and it's an Aprilia. You know, you can't really go wrong with Aprilia. They're pretty nice looking bikes. And I will say, in terms of bikes, it does weigh a considerable amount less than the actual CFMOTO 675 SS. And with today's economy, I mean, you can't really beat it. I mean, it's a little bit lower of a price, but it's essentially only losing about 10 horsepower for that price point. You're paying about $3,400 more for only about 10 more horsepower. But at the end of the day, if you want to ride it, it's all you, but it's definitely something that I would consider if you're in the market, and especially if you have some money to throw around. Next on the list, we have the Yamaha YZF-R7. That's what it's basically known for. I'm just going to call it the R7. It's easy to just say that. It is a twin-cylinder, 689cc engine with a 6-speed and an optional quick shifter. Does not come with it. The seat height is sitting at 32.9 inches at 414 pounds. Fuel capacity at 3.4 gallons. 73 horsepower at 8,750 RPM, with the torque being 49.4 at 6,500 RPM. Now, the price of this one is a little bit more, sitting at $9,199 US. It's a bigger engine. It weighs a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's a little bit slower, a little bit less power than the CFMOTO 675 SS. Although the R7 does look beautiful, especially with that blue. I gotta say, that blue does look really nice. I have a friend who has one, and every time I see it, it just stands out, and it's a beautiful bike. So shout out to him. Another option of why I would prefer the CFMOTO 675 SS is you get a bit more power with a lower price point. That to me just is something that I think kind of stands out on its own. Next on the list, we have the Kawasaki Ninja 650. I'm going to be doing the non-KRT edition with ABS on this one, so bear with me. I know there's plenty of different variations. We're going to stick with that one. This comes with a 649cc parallel twin with a 6-speed without the quick shifter coming in stock. You're going to have to get it aftermarket. It does not come with the bike. The seat height sitting at 31.1 inches with the weight of 425 pounds with a fuel capacity of 4 gallons. Again, with another beautiful TFT display sitting at 67 horsepower at 8,000 RPM, with the torque being about 48.5 at 6,700 RPM. Price of this one being $8,199 US. Well, this one is a little bit slower than the rest of them. It's a Ninja, first of all, so they all are just really nice looking. This one does come with a little bit smaller of an engine, and the bike weighs about the same as the CFMOTO 675 SS. Price point being a little bit higher for the power you're getting, although it is a beautiful looking bike, and I love a Kawasaki Ninja. You can't get over a ZX6 or any of those. Speaking about the 650 in comparison to 675 SS, it just doesn't make sense with that price point. I would rather just get the 675 because you're paying a lot less for a bit more, actually. The horsepower sitting at 95, and then the horsepower on a 650 sitting about 67. It's no doubt that the 675 is a lot faster, but it's something that I would consider if you're in that market there as well. So last but not least on this list, we have the Suzuki GSX 8R, which is a parallel twin sitting at 776 cc's, a 6-speed with a quick shifter, the seat height sitting at 31.9 inches. We have 452 pounds for its weight, the fuel capacity at 3.7 gallons, with, again, all of these have the beautiful TFT display. I don't know why I'm mentioning this, but these are all the brand new models, I should say. Horsepower, we have 81 horsepower at 8,500 RPM, torque being 57.5 at 6,800 RPM, and the price point being $9,669 US. So again, in this instance, the price point in terms of the power as well, with the CFMOTO having 95 horsepower and the Suzuki GSX only having 81 horsepower. For me, it's a no-brainer. Again, you're paying a little bit less for a little bit more power. Plus the weight too. The weight is a big difference on this one as well. With the Suzuki being 452 and then the 675 being 429, it just kind of makes sense that I would stick with the CFMOTO 675 SS. So I know this video is a little bit shorter of a video. Some people ask me, hey, why would you get a CFMOTO when there's so many different brands out there? Why'd you get the 675 versus the other brands? This is why I got the 675 SS over the other brands. It's not saying that CFMOTO is a better bike than any of these other bikes. I love all these bikes. I really have no hate toward any other motorcycles in general. Like any sport bike riders, it doesn't matter if you're a Kawasaki guy, it doesn't matter if you're a Honda guy. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you like what you ride and as long as you're having a fun time doing it, that's all that matters to me. Unless you're a Harley guy, then yeah, just trade it in. So all jokes aside, guys, all these bikes are great. None of them are bad. None of them are worse or better than the other. They're all fun bikes. For the CFMOTO 675 SS, you just see a better price point, and for the power output for the price point is actually pretty good. And that's, again, one of the things I considered when looking at this motorcycle. And because I had the 450 but before this one, it kind of set the standard for me of, okay, this is going to be a pretty awesome bike, and it is. It has been an awesome bike. So sorry if this is a bit shorter of a video. I just wanted to get something out to you guys and kind of give some more reasoning as to like, hey, why would you choose this bike over the other? And this is my reasoning. So if you guys like this video, please feel free to leave a like. If you guys have any comments, concerns, questions, or hey, what about this bike? Have you considered this bike? Drop it down in the comments down below. I'd like to read those as well. If you like this video and you want to see more, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see more content that I currently have, check out my channel. I have plenty of videos. If me kind of breaking down the 675, like, hey, what does it sound like? How fast does it go? How does it handle? I have plenty of videos on that, so feel free to check those out. That's if you're new here. And if you're an existing subscriber, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the support. And as always, guys, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.